6th level, gauge, engine, and friends, Series 7, Episode 5. Caroline was telling the narrow gauge engines and the little ponies about her tale she hadn't told for years, and she was ready to tell it.
This story starts when I was living in a car museum. It was before Celestia.
Tell it out then, please, Caroline.
All right, Les. This is how it goes.
Caroline the Old Car and the Mine of Secrets by Mr. Christopher James Rush as the new storyteller. Chapter 1. The Car Who Lived. Mr. and Mrs. Brownwood were a fine pair who live in a house of number 9 Crick Drive. They like things to be quite as normal, thank you very much, and they had a small son called Pong. The family have workplaces like Mr. Brownwood was manager of the harbour in Nubina, and Mrs. Brownwood would sometimes do the work of making warm hats for people to wear in winter times. Pong was doing math to get educated. He goes to school that's called Nubina Primary School. The Brownwoods had everything they wanted. They do, however, have a secret, and their greatest fear was that someone would discover it. The long-lost prisoner named Tom from France had escaped their house and was on the run again. It was the 9th time they had lost their prisoner. Their secret is that they wanted him to tell them why is he living in Tasmania, which they always failed to get him to do. It was almost as if they had been enemies of the world. In other words, it was almost as if everything has turned on to them. They'd caught him 9 times, and when he was out at work, the reason why they wanted him to explain is that they wanted to know about Tasman Sodal being named. It was never their lucky day, because every time they put him in a room, he would escape through the window and would tell the police to keep an eye on them. They never do it anymore because the police were watching them. Now our story starts when Mr. Brownwood was heading to the harbour. He went out the door when he noticed something very odd. There was an engine coloured blue. He was looking at some sign that said Crick Drive, number 9. Mr. Brownwood stared in shock. He wondered if this was a trick. In the end, he shook his head, thinking trains can't read. He left. We may like to interrupt the engine named Thomas was looking at the sign and was looking at him when he finished reading it. He decided to follow him. In the harbour, he went to his office, but before he went in, he couldn't help but notice an engine was talking to another one. It was Thomas talking to another engine. He thought it was a chick getting on again. He ignored the sight of them and went in his office. He was just getting some pie for lunch when he finished with the papers, when he caught a few words of what the two engines were saying. "Did you hear?" said Percy, which was the engine's name. "Yeah, about a car named Caroline. Our friend is having some holiday trip. She missed us, so she decided to move here." Mr. Brownwood stopped dead. He listened to what they were saying. He wanted to say something to them, but thought better of it. He got back in his office and was about to call his home number when he stopped himself doing it. No, he was stupid. He never heard about a car named Caroline. He knew his wife would get upset about things involved with this Tasman soda business. He didn't blame her. She knows perfectly well, and so does he, because they don't read Thomas books. Come to think of it, he was thinking about the name Caroline. It seemed like a new name. He was sure there were some people that have same names. It might have been Carol or Caroline, but the name Caroline seemed strange. He went home and done. When he came home to number 9 Crick Drive, he saw Thomas again, which didn't improve his mood. "Go away, you," he said loudly. "Excuse me, sir. Show some respect and change, will you?" said Thomas. Mr. Brownwood stood back. He was shocked to see he could talk. He went back in the house. "What's up with him?" wondered Thomas. He met his wife and son from the house. Pong told him at school he learnt a new word, briggle, tiggle, criggle, from a book he found the newspaper was waiting to be read. He had a read of it, hoping he would never find anything odd again. But he did. There was a story saying, "Today's news say that an old car is moving to a third owner's home. Some new home is in Tasman Soda. Many people say she'll make new friends as she meets up with old friends. If you'd like to know about her being here, look at Percy the Small Engine on YouTube." Mr. Brownwood was shocked once again. His wife wondered what was wrong. It was no good. He had to tell her. Girdle, dear, you haven't heard from your Now, our prisoner, Tom, have you? As he had expected, Mrs. Brownwood was shocked and angry as she stared at him. No? Why? Well, I was wondering if he's involved with this business. Caroline is involved of this too. I think we best get her to tell us where Tom is, so we can capture him. She might know where he is. We'll do it the next day. Right now it's bedtime. Outside the house, Thomas had been listening to the whole thing. He waited for Person Caroline to come. He needed to warn them. Hello, Thomas. Is this where she can manage to get to a new home? Said Percy. Yes, it is, but we'd best tell her. The Brownwoods are wanting to know where Tom is, said Thomas.
I know them criminals,
said Caroline.
I met them when they were flattening my tires on their date. They did it. It's high time I paid them back.
Well, Caroline, you need to know they're wanting to get you to tell them where Tom is. They have heard that they're friends of the Lomports. They heard the Lomports have been murdered. They think he killed them.
Oh, they've gone out of their mind? Well, if they want me to explain where Tom is, I can't tell them. What road do you think I should take?
That road to get to Greendale Village. We better go. You best park in your parking spot. No one's been using it for years. Good luck on your trip. Hopefully they won't get you. And tell them we sent you here on this task you're doing.
Righto. Uh-oh. It's begin. Let's begin. It's 9 o'clock.
Caroline parked in a parking spot, watching her friends leave, hearing them whisper together as they left to head for home. Told Caroline, the car who lived. End of chapter 1.